What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Party on Broad. Today we are reacting to the Eagles' big win over the Pittsburgh Steelers and looking ahead to Eagles versus Commanders. Joining us, he is Ryan Reese, Kenny Gainwell's #1 fan in the house at Philly Sports PSA. Kenny Gainwell fan #1 on X. What's going on, Ryan?
Yeah. And I was just saying in the break, I've never seen some person get so much love, mostly because someone, i.e. me, gives him so much hate. But hey, this is my cross to bear, so that's what it is. But other than that, I'm ecstatic about this Eagles win. What a great win. The vibes were at 100 in that stadium. And yeah, you couldn't ask for a better display of dominance over a top team than what the Eagles just did.
Mm-hmm. When we were doing our post-game show over at Eagles Pinpool, they were looking for you, man. They were asking for you. Where's Ryan? This was Ryan's game. Also joining us, of course, at Philly_Madness on X. What's going on, Rob?
Man, that was impressive yesterday. Impressive. Obviously, Kenneth Gainwell spinning into the heart of one Ryan Reese on one move was amazing. But all in all, just a dominating performance. Every time we say, okay, this is the test we've been waiting for the Eagles this year, they've stepped up and answered the bell. There has not been one time that they haven't really since that starting point of the season. So excited to talk about it. Excited to dive into this one and get ready to hopefully see the Eagles win the NFC East next week.
Kenny Gainwell spin moving into Ryan's heart.
I think he actually yells, "I love you, Ryan," as he spins.
Love you, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that takes place there.
Listen, I was there. I didn't hear it. So
because you have selective hearing. You hear what you want to hear.
Yeah, it's usually the
maybe
truth.
It was "F you, Ryan," not "I love you, Ryan."
Could have been. If that was the case, then I would have used the Darius Slay scrum as a cover to go over and sock it to him.
All right. Let's get into our top takeaways against the Steelers. Lead us off, Rob. What was your top takeaway in the win against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, my top takeaway is going to be a very bold prediction. I've been my earliest memories of watching the Eagles was 91. I was 6 years old, so that's the earliest memories I have of watching a team. And from that time until today, I have not seen a team in Philadelphia as tough as this team this year. They are the toughest team in my lifetime that I've been able to truly witness when it comes to Philadelphia Eagles teams. And I say this not only from the defensive side of the ball and how they all run to the ball and tackle, but a 21-play, 10.5-minute drive from your own 3-yard line. You only allow the opposing team to have 2 second-half drives. First team in the NFL since 2009 to do that. This team just continues to find new ways to impress you week in and week out. And I knew that drive was good, but I had no idea until the stats came out of a 21-play 10. That is as tough as you could be in football, to be able to do that, to just shut an opponent down on the offensive side of the ball. Just very, very impressed. I didn't say the most talented, but from a toughness scale, this is the best, the toughest team that I've seen in my lifetime. That's the takeaway I got when they out-toughed the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday.
And they were tough, man, coming in. Like, their D-line, the linebackers, Fitzpatrick, defensively, they're impressive, and they could not get the Eagles' offense off the field.
And that's what they're –
the Eagles oh, go ahead, Rod. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and that's what they're predicated on. They're predicated on third down stops. They're predicated on late in a game making the big stop and giving their offense a chance to go do something. And the Eagles wouldn't allow it. And it wasn't just running the football, obviously. It was more passing yesterday. I mean, they just wouldn't allow it. It was incredible.
What was really incredible about yesterday, like, it had dawned on me today and not during the postgame, like after the fact, was just how dominant of a defensive performance that was, especially when we were thinking of player of the game. For example, like Nolan Smith was already picked by David, and like you could go Zach Bond, you could go Nakobe Dean, you could go so many different directions. And that's what is, I think, so impressive about this defense. When Jalen Carter didn't even have that dominant of a performance, it was just all three levels playing as a unit. Ryan, what was your top takeaway?
Yeah, listen, I think the top takeaway is that the Eagles are a top team in this league. I mean, they showed it offensively. They showed it defensively. They took the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, as you have been saying, great defense. I was absolutely feared that front four, that pass rush, dominance. And what did we do? We made them look silly. In all honesty, we made them look silly. No one has done what we just did to the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. And we made them look terrible. We made their offense look terrible. And their offense has been, again, playing the, Bengals and the Browns, but still putting up 40-plus points. That wasn't happening. And the simple fact of the matter is 10-minute drives don't happen often. And 10-minute drives against a incredibly tough defense never happen. And the Eagles absolutely did that from the 3-yard line. This was by and far one of the most dominant performances the Eagles have had this year. They literally took the fact that this whole week everybody was talking about the passing game and could they do it and this, that, and the other. They're so reliant on Saquon. Well, you know what they said? Let's show.
Yeah.
Jalen said it perfectly when it came to the microphone. He said, Is that what you wanted?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, exactly. Like he basically just said, because they can do it all. They can run with Saquon down your throat and absolutely continue to break you down to the fourth quarter when you are gassed by all belief and Saquon's going to run 20 here, 30 here, 40 here, touchdown. Or they can just slant you to death with A.J. Brown or that. Oh my God, that first pass, and even though it was Calcaterra, who again I'm not a big fan of, my God, that was an amazing pass, and Calcaterra came down with it. It was absolutely the sign of how things were going to come. And the fact of the matter is, we overcame 2 messy turnovers, and we let them have 3 points. That is it. I knew right then and there, game was ours. Wasn't even going to be close.
What was it? Like 3 points off of the Eagles' 2 turnovers, something like that.
Yeah. And that's
Jalen Hurts turnover, fielded nothing, and the Coupe de Jean one. They were close enough to Boswell to kick a field goal, but that was it. They literally had have negative yards through the first quarter, -1 yard. That pass right there was absolutely genius.
Yeah,
absolutely genius.
And I'm telling you, it's everyone talks about the turnover stat. Well, the turnover stat doesn't matter. It's what you do with it. And this defense buckles down when this team turns the ball over. And then when you think about it, bad turnover by Pittsburgh, but it's deep in Eagles territory, and the Eagles drive the ball. And what do? They go down, they score a touchdown. I mean, that's a major difference in this game.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Jalen Hurts was the story. He was sensational. The Steelers had an average passer rating allowed coming into this one of 79.2. That was the second best mark in the NFL. and Hurts had a passer rating of 125.3. There were so many plays.
Hurts was amazing. I cannot stress this enough. How I want every national pundit, every Emmanuel Acho, every Chase Daniel, every whoever whoever you want to say. Jalen Hurts just told you all to shut the F up. I am going to win no matter what. Whether we run the ball, whether I pass the ball, or whether I run the ball, we're winning games. And that's the only stat that matters. And they absolutely said to the world, don't you overlook the Eagles this year, because we're coming. We're coming for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Let's watch some Jalen Hurts plays. Why not? This was
love it.
Epic performance from Jalen Hurts. The quick slants, the throws up the middle from the jump was fantastic. I think the Steelers had like 2 total yards in the first quarter. It was a game in the first half, after the first half. But my God, look how upset they are with each other. Oh my God.
Oh, I know. They hate each other. They're not friends.
Clearly.
Can I also say just a shout out, and I don't do this normally because you know me, but shout out to Jahan Dotson. He has not been a factor in the receiving game. You know, he doesn't have too many catches. He has probably averages a catch a game, right? Something like that. But what he's been doing, blocking, especially yesterday, my God, it was almost every play, major play that you saw. It was Jahan Dotson somehow getting in the way and doing some amazing blocking. He's the reason why that touchdown happened for Devontae. He's the block on that one. Mm-hmm. So amazing blocking. It's a very tough one because you don't want to get, you don't want to get a penalty there because that could easily go either way.
This play was big time.
I just thought great play by him.
This play was big time. The 3rd and 6 to AJ Brown. That was a massive moment in this game. And we got to shout out Kenny Gainwell. There's no highlights here. That was a great throw up the middle to Devontae, staying in the pocket. Which
no highlights.
I want to see no highlights of Kenny Gainwell in this one. But all 3 of his receptions went for first downs,
including an unbelievable spin move that
he copied from Saquon. He clearly copied from Saquon. Saquon's like, dude, you got to start doing like this.
I still search the show immediately after every game. We go on Eagles Pin Pool. Make sure you go check out Eagles Pin Pool for all post games. I put out highlights and shorts and stuff, but most of the reaction stuff is over there. Krabby says, finally someone we can agree on. Eagles Pin Pool. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Woo!
Big time. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was Jalen Hurts and Jalen Hurts. Kenny Gainwell was an unsung hero for sure, coming up in big moments. Yeah. I mean, not even though it was, again, a close game at the end of the half, like I was not worried whatsoever. They were, from the jump, I thought, outclassing Pittsburgh pretty handily. Any other takeaways before we roll on to next week?
Nope.
All right, let's talk top storylines and matchups heading into Washington Commanders week. Top storylines and matchups to watch. Who wants to go first?
I'm good.
Do it, man.
Mr. Reese, I'd like you to do it today.
Okay. My matchup to watch is our DBs versus the Washington wide receivers. Terry McLaurin is a very good wide receiver. Let's not doubt that by any means. But the Eagles certainly have the DBs to shut him down, as they've proven this year. But the combination of Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry have applied many touchdowns against other teams. So it's certainly something to watch, because I personally think if they are going to get in this game, it's going to be through the air, because I just don't. I don't really respect the run game personally. I think it's a little overrated. But Terry McLaurin, absolutely fantastic. They seem to be using their passing game as well, or their tight ends in the passing game as well. So certainly got to watch out for that. But McLaurin's certainly going to be number one, and I'm sure Slay or Q will be on him mostly. But it seemed like Q was on him last time quite a bit. And obviously you see there, his numbers, you see all the green there. You don't see that at week 11 there. See some yellows and some oranges, some of them ugly colors.
Yep. Terry McLaurin versus Darius Slay. Scary Terry was absolutely outstanding again against the New Orleans Saints last week. He had 10 targets, 7 receptions, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's now got 11 on the season.
Yeah.
Very much in conversation for All-Pro, most likely. I mean, and then Darius Slay, he keeps getting hurt. But my gosh,
he's battling.
He's battling. He's absolutely battling, and I have no problems with Darius Slay whatsoever.
No, not at all. I think again, I think he's an easy target to put the blame on when something goes wrong for the defensive backfield. But in all honesty, I think he's having a fantastic year. I think he's just himself having a great year, but also I feel what he is doing, monitoring the young guys and being the captain of those defensive backs. It's been the biggest, 180 for a team that was god awful against the pass last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're one of the tops in the league, and I think it all starts with Darius Slay and his leadership.
Yeah, look at that. He's only had 2 games of 2 missed tackles and 3 missed tackles. Outside of that, 0 missed tackles this season. In all the other weeks, he's given up 2 touchdowns, a passer rating allowed of 77.7. He has allowed 25 receptions on 51 targets, only 75 yards after the catch.
Well, look at what he's done. Look at what he's done since week 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
he's
nice.
been the rock. Yeah.
He hasn't given up a touchdown since. He had a bad game against, who was that? The
Rams. That's where he had 2 missed tackles.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game there, but I wouldn't say a bad game. But again, I think he's being a fantastic defensive back, and I feel like he gets the blame unnecessarily.
Yep. Is Reed Blankenship the X factor on defense, shoring up coverages? They needed him, man.
I think just in all honesty, I think this defensive back, however, the pairing you want to say with Slay, Q, Coop, with Blankenship, with CJ, I think the 5 of them are absolutely perfect for this defense and the way that they play, and the way they play off of each other. I think they allow each other to kind of take their chances when they need to, but they also make sure that there's backup behind, and they shore any weaknesses together as a unit. It's something I don't think I've ever seen for the Philadelphia Eagles do. And personally, I think that sounds like a dig, technically at Slay.
That's not. No, I know what. I mean, Harden kind of took Maxey under his wing a little bit last season.
All right. Yeah. I mean, if you want to take it like that, then yes. And whatever's free, right?
Exactly.
It's hard to pick something good. So honestly, that the good hats off to you, because usually it's crap. But yeah, listen, I think the defensive backfield, honestly, every phase of this defense has done a 180 since the bye. Quite literally, each group you could say, wow, look how much better they are since the bye.
Yep.
It's like they all just like drank the pickle juice and just boom, turned into superheroes, because they are absolutely dominating this year. And they made Pittsburgh look silly. Russ has never beaten us or never lost to us until yesterday.
Yep.
F you,
Rob,
Russ.
do you have a storyline or matchup to watch?
Yeah, it's try and reduce or eliminate the Jaden Daniels off script plays.
Great.
They're the only thing that could really hurt you. I believe is the, plays that aren't scripted. He makes something out of nothing sort of thing. You got to make sure you're keeping a contain on him, and to a certain extent. Look, I mean, I don't really think this Washington team is as good as a lot of people wanted to try and tell you. They damn well, we should have won the division. They should have lost to the Saints and Spencer Rattler this week. With the way that they allowed that team to come back and almost beat them. But I think that's it for the Eagles. I think if you contain Jaden Daniels, this team will not beat you. I don't look at them and fear them, not even as much as, maybe we did going into week 11 on the short week. So that to me is it, is keep Jaden Daniels in the pocket, try and eliminate or at least reduce the off script plays and go from there.
Yeah. The big thing is getting pressure on Jaden Daniels. He got sacked 8 times last week, and a big part of that was their O-line. So one matchup, you could say, the Eagles pass rush against the Commanders' O-line, which really struggled. Andrew Wiley, still very much inconsistent. He's their right tackle. Tyler Biadasz did not play last week, got ill. They really missed him, for sure. But just sloppy top to bottom from that O-line group. But when he was kept clean, Jaden Daniels was really, really good. He was 22 for 27 and 205 yards, including both touchdowns in a clean pocket when he was kept clean. And so far on this season, Jaden Daniels, 13 touchdowns, 3 picks when he's kept clean, and only 2 turnover-worthy plays, and that's it. So, sorry, Vic Fangio is going to have a lot to say about that this week, whether that's Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, who suddenly kind of looks pretty good as a first-round pick, man. We need to kind of talk about Nolan Smith.
We do need to talk about that,
yes,
and the impact that's going to have in this year's draft.
Yeah, for sure. Him coming on strong might change some things, maybe. Just maybe.
He was all over the backfield last night. I mean, early in the game, you could just tell he had another twitch to him last night. It was super, super impressive.
Yeah. He was bull rushing people. He was doing it all, and he only had 4 pressures, which was nuts. Because I mean,
like he was back there
the Steelers only had 11 plays in the second half. But on the plays, the pass rushing plays, he was all over the place. Crabby says, yes, that's me. I do most of the intros and stuff. That's what I do. But anyway, the Commanders O-line, they have to shore it up because Vic Fangio is coming. That's really all I got. Anybody else have any storylines or matchups to watch?
Nope.
Well, honestly, I don't. I think a lot of people are, some people are worried about this game again because it's Washington, but we handled them last time. And I think we're only getting better. Obviously we didn't have the greatest game at Carolina, but obviously we just showed we bounced back. We're fine. And yeah, listen, it's an important game. We win this, we essentially lock up the 2 seed.
Yep.
At worst. So
it's crazier things have happened. Like Chicago can pull one out of their ass. You never know.
I'm hoping today.
Not watching. They are so bad right
so
now.
Bad though. They are so bad. It's definitely not happening today, but I'm just saying.
But the Lions play the Vikings in the last week of the season, which
that's our only hope. But the question I have is,
I think San Francisco, they got to go to San Francisco, who's starting to get guys back. That game's probably not as easy as you think because San Francisco is still playing to try and get a wild card.
Sure. So if Minnesota and Detroit are both going into this last game with 2 losses each, we have 2 losses. If Minnesota wins, what does that mean for?
According to Zach Berman, Minnesota would own the tiebreaker.
And if the Lions win,
the Lions
would own the tiebreaker. So
we need both teams to lose.
So we need another Vikings.
We need Minnesota to lose a game and then beat the Lions, or vice versa.
That's ridiculous. That's
tough. That's tough to ask.
Yeah.
Who's Minnesota even playing?
Green Bay.
Oh,
it's possible.
Minnesota's got Green Bay.
Okay. Now we're cooking with gas.
Yep.
Pumman says we need to handle them better than last time. This needs to be we took out the
but they scored. I mean, they scored late, so it looked a little better. But I thought we had it.
The line is only 3.5, so don't expect a blowout.
Wow.
Minnesota also plays at Seattle next week.
Well, you got to see what Geno's injury was.
True.
Because that Seattle team got really bad when Sam Howell came in.
Yeah.
I've never seen a team as injured as the Detroit Lions. They are David Montgomery is out.
I know.
Sucks, man. Just sucks.
My fantasy team.
You only blow out an NFL team if they quit or people make business decisions. All right, let's roll on to Eagles fill in the blank. All right. The Eagles will beat the Commanders because they don't fumble the ball. They stay away from giveaways. Most importantly, because the Commanders are damn good at it. The Commanders don't give up the ball very often. The Commanders are third best, tied for second best in the NFL in giveaways per game, 0.6. So the only way I see the Eagles struggling in this one is they shoot themselves in the foot, which we've seen them do. What about you, Rob? The Eagles beat the Commanders because
they don't let Jaden Daniels go crazy. I really think this game all rests there. And I mean, I'm not doubting the defense, but in my opinion, the Eagles are going to get theirs. They're going to get their 24, their 27, their 30 points. If you keep Jaden Daniels and you don't let him get going and you don't let him start making the plays with his feet, this team can't beat them. They just can't, and they won't. And I think it's you maintain Jaden Daniels, you keep him contained, you're going to win the game, and that's going to be it.
What about you, Rod?
The Eagles will win because they are more dominant on both sides of the football. And they will show that, as they've shown that in the past 10 games. but they are the better team. Up and down, every single aspect, this team is better and more experienced and clearly playing together like I've never seen. So I think we're going to see more run game. We're going to get Barkley back over 100 yards, and we're going to spread the ball around quite a bit. I think I'm expecting a big offensive day.
Look at Brandon Graham's stats in this one, man. That kills me.
Yeah.
I had 4 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss.
Well, he got a second strip sack of his career against Tom Brady yesterday, so that was cool.
That was cool. Trying to look at it's hard to remember. For me, I go day to day with this
They
thing.
won that game 26-10. That pissed me off.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts, 18 of 28. Saquon had a huge game. Look at the guy that pops off this box score for me, Devontae Smith, 4 receptions for 29 yards. That needs to be better on Sunday. Need to get him more involved. Love seeing him get that many targets against the Steelers. Devontae.
Well, you also have to replace that 5 for 61 for Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
That'll go somewhere.
No more talk radio show for Brandon Graham. Oh, my gosh. They are lined up to bring him on.
Yeah, because they know he's just going to
be
talk.
A gold mine. He's going to be a gold mine every time he talks.
Should we try to get him on?
Yeah, why
not? Eagles will lose to the Commanders because anybody have a good one?
Yeah, they shoot themselves in the foot.
All right.
You know, whether it be turnovers, whether it be penalties, whether it be, giving up big plays to Jaden. Look, I'm fully confident that outside of one or two teams in the NFL, the Eagles can only beat themselves. They can't be beaten. Now, there's a couple teams, obviously, where that changes things. But I truly believe that the only way they lose to this team is by shooting themselves in the foot with stupid, careless mistakes, bad penalties, bad turnovers. And if they don't do that, they're going to win the game. It may not always be the prettiest win. It may not always be the cleanest win, but I just don't know what you do to slow the Eagles down right now when they can basically beat you in any way, on top of the fact that their defense is playing elite defense right now. So, I mean, I think Eagles lose if they shoot themselves in the foot. That's how they get beat by this team.
Yep. Ryan, anything to add?
Yeah, no, Rob said it perfectly. The Washington Commanders will not beat us. We will beat ourselves, if anything.
Yeah.
But I still don't believe that's going to happen.
All right. Let's roll on to our X Factors to watch for the week. All right, X Factors to watch. These are guys that are your more underrated kind of guys that you should watch out for, not the Jalen Hurts' Ryan. So we will proceed. Someone said Jalen Hurts 1 week. I don't know who it was. But I got a couple. I'll throw it around the horn first, see if you guys can name them. Ryan, do you have an X Factor?
Yeah. I think I'm going
to tell us.
No. Now I'm going to go with a kid who's been slowly but surely increasing his effectiveness over this past season. And that's Nolan Smith.
Yes.
He has been such a eye-opening changing experience this year. I did not expect it. I thought, again, slow play it a little bit. Now, obviously, the Brandon Graham injury has, opened up more opportunity, but Nolan Smith seems to be an edge that we're going to want to have around for a while. And like I said earlier, I was all about edge in the draft. And now I'm like, all right, well, we can still get an edge, but maybe we can get that tight end we always wanted, huh? So I'm just saying, Nolan Smith, keep ramping up, kid. You're doing exactly how you're doing it. You're on nobody else's time. You take your time and you keep going, dude. You're doing great. So he's the X factor.
Ryan, I almost had a panic attack just now. Because when you were saying we can get the tight end we've always wanted, my first thought obviously went to Tyler Warren. My second thought, Drew Aller is returning to Penn State. And I was like, oh my God, if Tyler Warren's a freaking junior or something and not going to the draft, I would be devastated. Luckily, he's a senior.
Yeah, he is a senior, and he has no more eligibility.
Warren is the name on.
He does not need to declare for the draft. He is just getting drafted.
He's just going.
Yeah, he's gonna be there.
Yeah, Nolan Smith played all but 2 snaps, and
I love it.
The interesting piece here is that Bryce Huff is eligible to come off the IR this week. So just something to keep an eye out for. Rob, who's your X factor?
Personally, let Huff.
My X factor was Nolan Smith, but of course,
Ryan Reese steals him again.
Like 3 weeks in a row now, you big jerk. But I tell you what, we talked about Dallas Goedert had a lot of those catches the last time we played Washington. So Grant Calcaterra, he's my X factor. Grant Calcaterra in the middle of the field, trying to get open amongst those linebackers, which if he could start to do that and catch a few passes, what that's going to do is give Devontae and AJ more opportunities. Listen, I think Grant Calcaterra has played well this year. I'm not saying that he's the tight end of the future. I just think he's played well this year. So I think that he's a guy that could get, maybe he has a 5-catch, 50-yard day. And I think that would be a huge benefit to this team. So I'm going to go with Grant.
That's a good one, too. Obviously, Nolan Smith is the guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out a name that didn't kill us, and give me Isaiah Rodgers. I think this is more addition by subtraction, because the fact that Avonte Maddox was not on the football field, and he's by far been one of the worst players on the roster. Seemingly every time he's on the field, the offense goes right after him like a freaking tractor beam. Isaiah Rodgers held his own. Didn't really do anything. He played 8 total snaps, 2 in the slot, 4 on the outside. I'm good with that. I'm good with so keep an eye out on Isaiah Rodgers as a name, as Avonte Maddox seemingly is on the out here in Philadelphia, and for good reason, because he's been terrible. Any other X factors?
I'm going to throw this one out there, and it may not be necessary, but I'm going to say Tyler Steen.
You know what? I thought that one too, right? Look at us on the same page today. Unbelievable.
Love it. Listen, he spent some time in the game. Now, again, it's always tough just coming off the bench, especially as an offensive lineman. We know this. But you have some time to prepare, knowing you're going to go in. That's a different story. And I think for Tyler Steen, if that's the case, if Dickerson, is a little banged up, Steen will be the guy to kind of get shoved in there. He's going to need to have a good game and keep Jalen clean. I mean, he seemed to have a few penalties, and wasn't, didn't have the greatest game. But, again, kept Jalen as clean as possible. So, yeah, we need him to have a huge game if he is going to be in there.
I'll say it. Kenny Gainwell. You could easily put me in team. Put Saquon Barkley on the bench for the next few weeks. Watching him hobble into that medical tent was really brutal. I am, as we just lost Ryan. He needs to play more. He had three first downs on third down as a receiver. Give me Kenny Gainwell. Saquon is just too important to the team. I
agree.
Gainwell. Maybe not saying like the same amount of carries by Saquon, but just a little less from Saquon, a little more, and let's slowly titrate Saquon's carries as we finish out this season.
Okay. Hey, listen, ever since I personally called out Kenny Gainwell to score another touchdown, he has not done so in 2 straight games.
Here we go.
So, Mr. Gainwell, I will put this out to you once again. If you score a touchdown, buddy, I got a surprise for the people.
How is
Lane? Be you.
Apparently, Kenny Gainwell hates the people.
It better be you wearing a Kenny Gainwell jersey. That's what it better be, or at least a jersey. I won't make you buy a full jersey, but at least
I don't
jersey.
think they make jerseys for Kenny Gainwell.
If you want to make a bet, I will guarantee you there's a Kenny Gainwell jersey.
Not custom ones don't count.
Was there an update on Landon Dickerson's knee injury?
I didn't hear it.
I haven't heard any update yet.
That's the problem when you do this show like literally the day after.
Right. We got 0 updates. And then they all come out on Tuesday.
There may not be a jersey, but TeePublic has a Kenneth Gainwell t-shirt. Wow, there's multiple Kenneth Gainwell t-shirts on TeePublic.
I have multiple t-shirts on TeePublic myself.
I'm just saying.
You can buy a football smack talk show.
Oh my God, Ryan! I have found your Christmas gift.
Oh boy,
I have found it.
It's on TeePublic.
No, but it's going to be on you soon, buddy. It's going to be on you soon. I can guarantee you that. Are you a coffee drinker? Maybe I'll buy you a coffee mug with it.
I don't drink coffee at all.
Well,
wow.
You're not get a coffee mug.
Good for you.
I just drink Red Bull, so it's probably not great for me.
No, definitely not real good for you.
Sugar free, at least.
All right, let's get to our score predictions for Sunday. All right, Eagles versus Commanders predictions. As we currently sit, the Eagles are 3.5-point favorites with an over-under set at 45. Rob, what's your gut feeling for this game on Sunday?
My gut feeling is I like the Eagles around that 27 number, but I'm going to give them 30. I'm going to give them 30 today. And I think they're going to win this game, let's say 30-20. But very much like the first matchup, it is not going to be as close as what that score says to you. Even when the game was close against the Commanders, it felt like the Eagles were up a ton. I kind of get the feeling that it's going to be that kind of a game. And I'm going to say, 30-20 will end up being the final. Birds win. A Saquon back over 100. Grant Calcaterra, anytime touchdown. Make the bet. Make the bet.
Snap. Oh, snap.
Oh, wow.
That's right, baby.
And Calcaterra getting his second career touchdown
yes, sir.
This Sunday. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna one up Rob, and I'm gonna say 31-21.
Well, aren't you just so cool?
Thank you. Yeah, listen, and again, I think there might be a late score here, but I truly expect the Eagles to dominate this game, or at least control this game.
Yeah. I'll go Eagles. Yeah, they're going to score more points than this team is out for a vengeance. Yeah, I'm going to go big. Give me Eagles 34, Commanders 16.
Holy hell! Look at you.
Hot. Damn.
Yep.
I like your intensity.
This defensive line is going to cause havoc on Jaden Daniels.
Jalen Carter, no more head slaps. Although
this is
funny. Dude, that was a violent slap of.
Can you imagine if he did that to like one of us? Like we'd be dead.
Yeah. A normal human being would absolutely be dead.
The best part was I was talking to my father about it, and he was like, I'm old enough when that move used to be legal in the NFL. Yeah. That's what they used to do to get free in the NFL.
Right.
Yeah. Awful.
Yeah. I'll go player of the game. Give me Kenny Gainwell. I think he gets 2 touchdowns. And Ryan, we will be having a party on Broad.
I mean, listen, if he has 2 touchdowns, I gotta do it up.
The authentic jersey if he does that. Game-worn jersey.
Game-worn jersey signed by Kenny Gainwell.
Signed by Kenny Gainwell. And you have to frame it and put it in the background of your shot for every show we do.
Okay.
Yep. All right. That about wraps it up. How did we go 47 minutes in this one? That's
because we talked about Kenny Gainwell for about 17 of those minutes.
I was saying, and he's saying, I was going to say, because a couple of Ryan's answers were a good 6 or 7 minutes long tonight.
Listen, you know what? Sometimes when you're Rob, I know you're, not as a veteran in this as I am, but when you have passion in your words.
I've been doing podcasts since this guy was in diapers over there. What the hell's he talking about? As the great Richie Ashburn once said, less is more. No, I'm just.
Well, listen, sometimes my passion flows through, and I have been actually podcasting for 16 years there, Rob. So,
yeah, I'm close. I'm close.
But you're not. You're not there.
No, I'm about 14. About 14. 14 years. They're a big guy. That's our next debate. Which, by the way, Rob, how bad did we drop the ball? How bad did we drop the ball?
That's completely my fault. I sucked.
Dives, we texted 14 times.
Like 100 times.
To do something. And then, like, every night we would be like, oh, damn. We forgot.
Oh shit! I had something come up.
It was so bad.
What are we talking about here? I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it together. We're gonna get our shit
these
together.
days.
2/3 of the party abroad will get our shit together.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's wrap it up. Final thoughts and plugs. Make sure you join us tomorrow night. Birds of the Roundtable, Eagles Pin Pool. Always a good time with Shane and David. Ryan, lead us off, man. Final thoughts, plugs.
Yeah, listen. I just couldn't be happier with the Eagles win yesterday. It wasn't perfect, which I always enjoy because that shows there's room to grow. But they also took a top team in the AFC, and they absolutely just completely owned them. And they owned that entire division. And that was supposed to be one of the tough divisions of the, of not only the AFC, but the NFL. And we dominated that division. And right now, the Eagles are the best team in the league. And I don't say that because I'm an Eagles fan. I say that because, one, their record shows that they are a top team. 2, they are beating other top teams. And not just squeaking by. They are beating them. And they will continue to do that the rest of the year. And honestly, I other than, maybe, playing, Tanner McKee against the Giants, I don't think they're going to be losing another game this year.
Yep.
But anyway,
by the way, if the Eagles do sit all their starters for that last game, I will take every prop Kenny Gainwell bet there is.
Oh, you have to.
For week 18.
I'll even say that, yeah. But other than that, make sure you follow me on X, Philly Sports PSA. I will not be on the Birds of the Round Table tomorrow, unfortunately. I got a little gig I have to do for a little extra work. So missing that show, sadly. But I will be back at it Wednesday for the Football Smack Talk show on the Eagles Pinpole Network. So please make sure you're following Eagles Pinpole Network, not only on X at Eagles Pinpole, but YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. I think we're on Twitch. I don't know. We're everywhere. So just follow, give a 5-star review, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your enemies, tell random people. Who cares? Tell people at Walmart or Target. Be a weirdo. Just tell them.
Wow. What about you, Rob?
First of all, Krabby, thank you so much for being here today. But we can no longer call Ray Didinger Diddy. I believe that name has way too many negative connotations with it anymore. And you can no longer call Ray Didinger that because we don't want to put him in that category. So that's that. Secondly, I haven't watched the AFC North Hard Knocks, but now that the Eagles have decimated the entire division, I want to go in and watch it and see how that goes. So looking forward to that. But then you catch me here. As me and Ryan were alluding to, we got some little things in the works that, maybe one of these days we actually do what we said we're going to do, and actually get it done. Maybe. So you can take a look, you can get it ready for them, and go from there. But at Philly_Madness, and then catch me here and on some post game shows.
Yes, sir. I've been putting out about a couple shorts per day. Go check those out on the Eagles. We'll be moving on to Commanders Week, top matchups to watch. Pretty much everything I just said on this show will be in the short with some highlights. Put out my top 10 wide receivers. Ryan, where do you think Trey Harris is ranked in my top 10?
If he's not top 5, I might reach out and slap you. I'm going to say, man, it's got to be either 3 or 4, but I'm going to say 4. 2.
Number 2.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
That's awesome. Love the Trey Harris love.
Yep. So wait,
you put obviously Tet and then Trey. Who's 3 and 4, if I can ask?
Burden,
Ibuka.
Okay. Yeah, I've watched a lot of film on all those guys. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Who do they play for?
Somebody in college.
That team out
teamy.
And the
Are they playing this weekend?
Yeah.
I knew they were playing this weekend.
Penn State plays this weekend, and it's supposed to be like 3 degrees. The weather is supposed to
have fun, SMU.
Yeah, exactly.
SMU is going to be like, what in God's name is this? As 100,000 drunk idiots wearing all white scream obscenities at them.
Yeah.
I love it.
Penn State's got a lot of shakeup happening. They just lost one of their top quarterbacks. What's his face?
What? See, that's this crap that upsets me, Becca.
The transfer portal sucks.
Yeah, can't you wait until after the season, bro? Like, what the hell do you have to do that right now for?
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't understand why you're allowed to leave the team at the most critical time.
All right, doesn't he want to see how it shakes out for next year? See if he might be in play.
It's stupid. All right. We are wrapping it up. Guys, thank you everyone for watching. He's Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. Rob Langy at Philly_Madness. I'm Dibes. We out. We'll see you tomorrow night. Birds of the Round Table. Brian, Rob, myself. Stay awesome, everyone.